Hello urban explorers. Welcome back to another adventure with me, Joyful Adventure Audits. Today is Tuesday, October 24, 2023 and we are here at the abandoned Typhoo Tea Factory in Digbeth, Birmingham. This historic factory has been derelict for over 40 years after ceasing tea production in 1978. Once a bustling industrial complex in Birmingham's manufacturing heyday, the Typhoo building now sits empty, its broken windows and crumbling walls telling the story of decline. Join me today as we take a look at this 19th century time capsule before its upcoming restoration. Let's step back in time and imagine the sights and sounds of its past life as a tea factory. What secrets might we uncover in the decaying walls of the old Typhoo? With its distinctive brick facade fronting Bordesley Street, this abandoned factory in Digbeth tells the long story of Birmingham's industrial past. The four-story building originally operated as the Typhoo Tea Factory from 1896 until its closure in 1978 after over 80 years of tea production. For generations of Brummies, Typhoo was a household name. At its peak, the Digbeth Tea Factory employed over 500 workers, operating 24 hours a day. The site had its own canal basin connected to the Digbeth Branch Canal, used to transport raw ingredients and finished tea products by boat. After the factory shut down, parts of the building were briefly used by S. Rose and Company Limited, a wholesale clothier. But by the 1980s, the site sat vacant as industries declined and businesses relocated. With no investment, the once grand tea factory fell into disrepair. Over 40 years later, the derelict Typhoo Tea Factory is a sorry sight. The exterior brickwork is crumbling, smashed windows are boarded up, and the interior has been gutted by vandals, leaving only an empty shell. Graffiti covers the walls, a poignant symbol of urban decay. But there are hopes for a new chapter. Recently approved redevelopment plans will see the old factory transformed into the new BBC Birmingham headquarters. Set to be completed around 2026, the state-of-the-art media complex will be dubbed the Tea Factory, a nod to the site's manufacturing history. It highlights Birmingham's reinvention from a city of industry to one powered by creativity. The project will provide offices, studios, and retail space. Building on the successful restoration of the nearby custard factory, it aims to spur wider regeneration in Digbeth. Breathing new life into this long-abandoned relic, the BBC's arrival promises to boost Digbeth's local economy and community. Though this icon of Birmingham's past will never brew tea again, its next incarnation remains uniquely tied to the city's identity. Why has the Typhoo Tea Factory sat vacant and deteriorating for over 40 years? This once thriving industrial site was the heartbeat of Digbeth's manufacturing boom. But after closing in 1978, it was left to rot, becoming the crumbling, graffiti-covered shell we see today. It seems such a shame to let an iconic piece of Birmingham's heritage fade away like this. There must have been opportunities to redevelop or repurpose the site before it reached this dire state. What do you think should have happened to the old Typhoo factory? It clearly had potential for adaptive reuse even 15 or 20 years ago. We'd love to hear your thoughts on why this historical landmark has been neglected for so long. Share your feedback in the comments below. Why do you think the Typhoo building has sat abandoned for decades? What could have been done to preserve its legacy before now? Let us know your ideas. Even just from the outside, we can see the decay and neglect that decades of abandonment have brought. The once grand brick facade on Bordesley Street is now discolored by weather and pollution. Many of the tall windows are smashed and boarded up. Graffiti covers the walls. But the distinct architecture gives us a glimpse back in time. The large factory buildings, smokestacks, and rail lines transport us to Birmingham's industrial heyday. We can imagine the hubbub of activity when hundreds of workers churned out Typhoo tea here. Though dilapidated, the aged patina of this factory is beautiful in its own way. The layers of history are visible in every crack and stain. This is urban decay as living art. We'll appreciate the ghostly, nostalgic beauty of the Typhoo Tea Factory from the outside today. But we eagerly await its restoration so that its legacy can be preserved for future generations.